All right.
Wait.
We're going live. We're just gonna do it. That's just something that we can do. Yeah. Hey everybody. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group 3. I had to close Facebook. Getting a lot of messages. This is Group 3, Sanguine Light. Tonight, controlling Eveline. We have Allison controlling Zai if he ever comes back. We have Ben controlling Arabella. We have Sam controlling Akta. We have Shaq controlling Torque. We have Tim. And to be decided, we have Wesley.
I don't know if it's just my brain being weird or if you said all of those wrong. Because it sounded like you said I was controlling Arabella and Shaq was controlling.
Nah, you're dyslexic.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I said
that's not a bad idea, actually.
And then who's controlling them? So might have.
But you should have said Zai controlled by Ben. But you said we have Ben, or you said whatever. Man, just fucking go. My brain's fried.
What were we doing the other night? We were playing Mario Kart, and you had one coin, and we were just like, Ben, pick up coins, and you're actively avoiding. I'm like, no, I have 10. I don't even need to. And we're like, Ben, you have 1. He's like, what are you? Oh, I have 1. Like, yeah, that's
Dude,
dyslexia.
I'm severely dyslexic.
It's all right, Ben. We still adore you. All right, so when we last left Group 3, oh man. A whole bunch of things happened. You guys were trying to interrogate Lilfear, which she did have a cracking point that you guys narrowly missed.
I wasn't interrogating shit. I was making snide comments.
Yeah. All 3, Torque, Akthau, and Zai, were not interested in interrogating her at all. However, you guys did get a little bit of information, and you forced the hand of her handlers to come and retrieve her. So you guys kind of saw that in action. I'm trying to remember what happened in the rest of the city that day. I know Zai packed up ship and left.
Arabella took Makana to meet Lady Nakart and ass handed to her.
Yeah, that happened because Makana rolled a 2 on a charisma check.
Suplex
Torque is checking out radical Islamists.
Yeah. We had a time skip for the party, and we're going to spend the first half of tonight's session going over that. So Arabella was the only one who completed her time skip. Did you write that summary, Sam, that we talked about, or did you want to summarize the events that happened in your time skip?
I mean, I was going to write it, but you never answered my question, so I never did.
Okay.
That, and we didn't know if we needed to team up because part of her time skip had to do with me, and we never finished the part that came before me and her.
Okay, so
we can what happened. I'll tell them what happened to Arabella.
No, we can just go we can just go top to bottom.
Okay.
If that's cool with everybody.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start off then with Eveline. And we'll try and do no more than 20 minutes per person so we can get into the session. Eveline was, of course... Oh, I'll read the general events for everybody watching. So, after defeating the cult of the Fifth Ascended, an ominous quiet has fallen over Somar Villa. A light mist caused by Lady Nakart's presence still creeps through the town. Rumors have been circulating that the enigmatic Soul Sarai has met with the Tolls family several times. More nobles seem to be looking for allies and shoring up alliances, as the powers that be appear to be picking sides. Every player was given an option of several events, at least having 5 to choose from. And from those events, they were able to pick 3.
Thank you.
And so I will read those events now for the people watching on stream. So general events that happen to everybody and that anyone could choose from. Minor Soul Sarai have been looking to gain the patronage of the larger families and have been bringing gifts to them. Each room of the manor is now lightly furnished, and Amphitheater is able to sell the extra tangible goods. Every member of the party residing in the manor receives 380 gold. That just happens. The entire party has been reinvited to Lady Nakart's ball on 9th day, which would be the 29th of Father this week. Anyone can choose to attend. There was a quest called Yannin. Sona has grown incredibly weak. Half the time when she tries to walk around the house, she stumbles, and half of those stumbles normally result in her fall. Oh yeah, that's what happened last week. You guys got Sona back into the party. But anyways, half of those stumbles normally result in her falling and servants having to pick her up and carry her to her destination. She believes she will turn feral on the 30th as Terai when they do not eat. They slowly lose control of their body, becoming the ravenous undead. Then there is the Heart of Embers. This is another quest. The Chantry of Unity, which is the chantry devoted to the water god, was attacked. 2 of their public libraries were set on fire. And there were 3 zealots who attempted to commit arson on the main tower within the city, but they were thwarted by Lady Nakart's bannermen. Anyone can look into that event. Finally, there is the missing tolls. Zai did not return to the mansion the night of the 26th. Simply asking around will yield the answer that Zai bought the fanciest, legit fanciest horse he could find and headed towards the capital. Anyone can choose to go look for him. So we're going to start off with Eveline.
I still call bullshit on that, by the way.
I call it on myself. We're going to start.
Yeah, you are bullshit.
We're going to start with Eve. Eve had 2 special events. Lilfear's offer. She was eventually contacted by from Lilfear, the bard, and she was given a letter. The letter read, I was surprised Andis offered you... Did she leave? No, she's still here. Wesley left. The letter read, I was surprised Andis offered you a chance to join us, but I have to apologize. I asked him to scry on you for my own personal reasons, and he observed you doing some unwise things. You will not be able to join us. However, if you'd like, you can work for me. First, you must understand we're playing a high-stakes game of Dragon Chess against 3 other foes you don't even know exist. If you accept my offer, you must fulfill any requests I make without question. Straying from our path will result in the unfortunate deaths of many. Signed, Lilfear Madison. On the back of the letter is an address and a date. And then the other event Eveline had special to her was the quest Yannin. Sona was in the mansion, still growing weaker, and Amphitheater had acquired the means to feed her, which requires her consuming someone else's soul. And Eveline would be more suited than the other characters in the party to convince her to eat. So that was an option to solve that quest line that Eveline had available. So, Allison, you chose Lilfear's offer. And then you had a conversation with Lilfear. Did you want me to read that, or did you want to summarize it?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. See, it wasn't an either or. It was I want to see what Lilfear has to say first, but I plan on getting to the second thing. That's why I said it ties in. But yeah, just to summarize, or you can read it, I guess. I think that would make more sense than how I would summarize it.
Okay. So, Lilfear was actually lurking around the manor when she dropped off the letter, and Eveline happened to catch her as she was leaving, and ran up to her and began bombarding her with questions. In the Eveline sort of way, I imagine she just kind of got in front of her and just kept crying until she eventually just stopped and answered her. As that's Eveline's signature intelligence gathering tactic.
It's not.
But anyways, Eveline wanted to know what her offer, what Lilfear's offer pertained to, and what type of task she'd be doing. And at first, Lilfear was not really, didn't really care too much to answer her question specifically. But upon Eveline's insistence, she responded with, I'm just going to read this response. You're cute and exotic, but as Eveline was still trying to convince her to tell her stuff. But as far as what we do, it goes beyond what I want to do and what you want to do. The Silver Sigil stands as a silent sword against all those who seek to destroy. And a sword doesn't stop to consider the weight of its duties. It fulfills them, trusting the intentions of its wielder's swings. That's the best, and that's also the best part about working for the Sigil. When we're done, oftentimes no one knows we were even there, and society moved on just as happy as can be. I'm giving you the chance to make people happy. And then Eveline responded, declining her offer, saying that she was still pretty uncomfortable not knowing what she'd have to do. And with that final statement, it ends with Eveline saying to her, maybe give me some time to think it over and maybe come up with more questions, and then Eveline giving her the puppy dog eyes. To that, I actually roll a response. I just didn't have time to send it to you. Lilfear rolled a will save against you and got a 3. And it is her flaw. She cannot resist the pretty face. She would at that point probably kiss you against your will and just kind of walk away.
Eve would smile and know that means that she'll be back later and that her decision isn't final. And then she would go to find Sona and try and convince her to eat.
Okay, roll me a charisma save for Sona. This is probably happening while Arabella's out.
A charisma save?
Check.
Okay. Just a...
Oh, I'm sorry, a persuasion check.
I'm going to go ahead and... I think I have an inspiration from last time. If I do, I'm going to go ahead and use that.
Okay. Sona seems pretty adamant about not eating other people's souls. And she's resisting as you're talking to her the whole time, like barely propping herself up in her bed. It's kind of like that. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. As she dies and withers more. You can work at this for the whole 2 days, because each event, we described takes 2 entire days. So you can roll another 2 persuasion checks if you'd like.
How does that affect what Arabella did during her time frame?
Well, yours took 2 days also. It doesn't affect it right now, but I will let you know depending on the successes of it.
How did the 18 not get it?
It's a challenge, so one success doesn't beat the whole check.
Oh, okay. And I was going to say, also, if it's going on for days, Eve would go in the room often to play music for her, to try and make her feel better while she's not eating and not feeling well, just to kind of soothe her a little bit.
Okay. Would Eve bring any arguments to her as far as reasons she should?
Yeah, she'll kind of go into she would go into there's ways to do this to keep you alive that's not really hurting anybody. She'll bring up the old people thing that she brought up with the children. It's like if you get somebody that's about to die anyway.
Death panels!
If you get somebody that's about to die anyway.
And
you're
so
not
wait,
really
why didn't you
All
want to
right,
work for the
Ted
Silver
Cruz.
Sigil?
Shut up.
Oh wow, that person's old. Let's feed him to vampires.
Right.
Makes
Like,
perfect sense. No,
it works.
That's fucking inhumane. It works.
How? If they are on their deathbed already, like this close from death, and you can save a life with their
I'm actually going to
life
call
force.
it questionable on that, Ben, just because I've seen people put horses and, well, not seen, but heard of people putting horses and dogs down and calling it the humane option.
Right, because if they're already suffering,
Sure,
die
but
anyway.
but hear me out
Hey,
here.
wait,
But
I'm
hear
not
me out
saying it's
now.
a good idea. I'm just saying
They're being put down because
question.
they're suffering to the point of where they'll die in like days, not years.
But hear me.
Think about it,
Hear me out here.
and look, on someone that has no hope of recovery because their heart will save a little kid in
I'm hearing you out,
Massachusetts.
Ben.
Would you be okay
Like-
with walking into somebody's hospital room with a clipboard saying, "Oh, this person's dying of pancreatic cancer. They're going to be dead in 3 days anyways. Might as well feed them to the vampires."
Yes.
No.
Okay, what about that tent where their people actually
What
work
if that person wants to enjoy the last 3 life? Like their
Okay,
last
hold
3
on.
days? Like
What?
what if they don't
Or
want to
explaining
die?
that to their grandkids.
Like what if they want to sit in their hospital bed and
Well,
suffer for 3
see,
days?
Eveline death panels already dictated they don't have that choice, so it doesn't matter.
Which is absolutely
your
fucking
whole
inhumane.
argument is
And you know
valid.
what? The first thing that's gonna happen when Zai comes into political power is he's coming after your ass and throwing you in jail for inhumane practices. I don't want to fucking hear it anymore.
That's if she doesn't get burned on a crucifix by Torque's church.
Yeah, you know what? I will turn him over to Torque's chantry and I will let him crucify you.
Zytol's 2020.
All right. So I will allow you to replace one of those persuasion checks with a performance check, and then we're actually going to jump to Arabella.
Yes.
All right, there you go. Yeah. So for Arabella, do you want me to read this whole thing, or do you want to summarize what happened with Sona?
I'll basically summarize what happened with Sona. So, Arabella went in search of information on how to return Sona's soul to her so she didn't have to eat people. Because Arabella's thoughts are if she has to eat people, she needs to die. But if you can find a way for her to survive and not eat people, then we can have time to find a way to find her soul. So then she goes to these people. What are they called, Brandon?
I think you go to two different. No, you go to the Nazaram. The Nazaram cause.
And I meet this woman named Pax, and I flirt with her, and she tells me how I can feed Sona off of magic without having to feed her souls. She can live off of the magic from an arcane magic user. And she also tells Arabella that you can kill her and raise her from the dead, and potentially she'll have her soul back. So that's still in the back of Arabella's mind. But Arabella then goes and finds a warlock and a sorcerer and talks to them and eventually brings the warlock home and is paying her to stay in the house and feeds Sona her magic every day.
All right, so I'm going to skip to the end of that, just because cinematically it is important. So there is now a warlock living with you guys. Her name is Fiamore. She comes into the house with Arabella and heads straight to Sona's room. And Fiamore, and this happens on probably, 28th day?
It would have been like the second day that we were in the time skip.
Yeah. Fiamore begins casting a spell. As she gets halfway through her casting, she pauses the incantation and voluntarily lets the spell taking shape fail. Before the magic can dissipate, Sona's body begins to glow faintly and absorbs all of the raw magic. Sona begins to shiver and convulse as her body shakes slightly in that way that bodies do right before they orgasm. Hey, there we go. or when they take a hit of a powerful drug. After about 4 seconds of that, Sona takes a deep breath, then props herself up, finding the strength to do so unassisted for the first time since she's been back in the manor. Eyes wide and breathing heavily, she grabs Fiamore by the collar and pants, "Do that again." The warlock does so, eliciting the same reaction from Sona. Sona asks for another spell, but Fiamore slings her spell tomb over her shoulder and says that she can't for now, and walks out of the room, nodding to Arabella and asking a servant to show her to her quarters. Arabella rolls an insight on what just happened, and she is able to put 1 and 1 together. And although the magic helped with Sona's withering away problem, the way Sona shook and shot up and wanted more and more spells reminded Arabella way too much of how drug addicts react and some of her family's gambling dens, and that this is a solution for Sona withering away, but something has changed in her cousin's expression. And the once weak Sona now sits upright, just
Is anybody else still there? Brandon, did you just stop talking?
Brandon's dead.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
Yay, let's feed him to Sonya.
No.
No, stop with that nonsense.
I'm telling you, Arabella's still got this thought process in her head that she can kill her and raise her from the dead.
But she still wouldn't have a soul. We'd be in the same predicament.
No, the lady at the place told Arabella that if you kill her and raise her from the dead, her soul returns to her body.
Oh, then just do that.
Except you have to be a really powerful cleric to do that, and I'm not that strong yet.
Give it a couple weeks. You will be.
I like my new idea.
I do too, actually. Feed Eve to Sona and then kill Sona.
And then kill
I
Sona.
like that idea. Let's do that.
Hey. Can we
I
not?
imagine that performance
I am
check.
useful.
I imagine that
Sinister.
performance check you just did was to show off. Ooh, eat me. I'm tasty.
How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel when you're the one being ate? It doesn't feel good, does it?
Eve would be sad she could not help more people in her life, but if it is what it takes for the greater good, she would gladly give her life.
Right. Right.
Because one zombie is for the greater good. One vampire, one undead is worth.
Look, you can't just feed one either.
Maybe.
You got to feed them all. Got to go find those kids, feed them too.
Yeah. And then what happens when you run out of the old people? You move to middle-aged people?
Or kids, because
What happens when you run out of middle-aged people?
die.
You run into young adults?
No, you're not going to be doing it that long.
And then you're murdering babies.
Yeah, it's a very very, 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 very thin line.
This is until
that
you
we're
can
walking
find a
in.
way to heal them and cure them so they don't.
What happens if they're uncurable? What happens if
Yeah,
it's
what
not
happens
something that goes
before
away?
that? You start a human
Then you
factory.
start looking for alternative forms of energy.
And what happens when you
So
make all
Soylent
kinds
is
of
what you're
old
saying.
undead? All these old people are now immortal and live forever.
Have you ever watched what's that movie called?
Then you kill the old people.
Oh, so you're okay killing old people no matter what they are.
It's like that vampire movie.
Have you ever
Man.
watched Soylent Green?
Silent Green.
You should go watch Soylent Green because what you're saying parallels the plot to that
There's
movie.
a vampire movie I
Like,
think with
Stay
Kevin
Away
Bacon in it, and they make giant people farms.
Yeah. Crap, what's that movie called? Kevin Bacon's vampire movie.
Are you looking it up, Ben?
Yeah.
I feel like after a while, you'd either figure out a way to heal them, or you would figure out an alternative source of energy, like fake souls.
Alternative forms of energy like fake souls.
So we're gonna do make fake blood like they did in True Blood, and then all the vampires are gonna go crazy and kill people.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Barely.
Barely? Okay, hold on one sec.
There's
Hey,
I just call it Ombre.
testing. Is this any better?
Not really.
There are 2 Brandons.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my mic settings. I don't know what happened. I just like looked down and thing went ham. Settings.
We've been talking about killing old people.
Oh, I know you have.
I'm just saying, it's a temporary solution that could work.
No, we're not killing old people. Eve can kill old people if she wants to, but Arabella might just have to put a stop to it.
Oh wait, I know what it is, Ben. It's Ethan Hawke and Daybreakers.
oh.
Yeah,
Plus,
they look about the same.
Arabella's still upset with Eve anyway.
Oh, Eve does not even know how upset Arabella is right now because Arabella thinks Eve did something really horrible.
What you think Eve did?
That will come when we finish Arabella's thing.
Terrible human being.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a youthful member
Actually,
of
it's
the
kind of
team.
ridiculous how similar Ethan Hawke and Kevin Bacon look.
Man, I can go get my other laptop and use that as a thing.
What happened, Brandon?
I don't know, man. My Hangout just isn't broadcasting any sound.
Well, I gotta say, you have a nice ceiling.
Oh, thank you. Hold on, let's see. Turn that off. Oh, here we go. All right, let's try that. Is that mic better? Any better?
Nope.
It's not.
Nope.
It's really
Sounds like
quiet.
Sounds
talking
better on
through
my
a wet paper towel.
end. Oh my gosh, Ben, I will murder you.
I am.
It's
just telling
better
it
than
like
the
it
old
is.
one, but it's really quiet.
It's actually worse than the old one.
All right, we're gonna take a 3-minute break. I'm gonna grab some headphones with the microphone on them and use those.
But okay, here's Eve's question: is what makes y'all think that you're so high and mighty that you decide who lives and who dies?
Because we don't feed fucking old people to undead people. We don't feed people to any people. We
Same
don't-
decision.
But she's not though. She's taking people that were already dying.
Doesn't matter if
How
they're
do you know that?
already dying or not. Yeah, like, see, the reason why I called you Ted Cruz's death panel, because, like, it parallels to what the healthcare argument is in the United States right now, like, eerily so. Like, what classifies as a pre-existing condition? What classifies as dying? Because technically, we're all dying the second we're born. Like, you could go up to, like, a 27-year-old, like, bodybuilder who's, like, peak fitness, and you'd be like, he's dying because he's going to be
I don't
dead
know
by the
about
time
you,
he
man,
turns
but I'm the
60.
God Emperor. I'm gonna live for thousands of years.
Like,
But I also have to put it out there. They
I'm gonna
can,
lead humanity into the future.
he's got a sprained wrist. Oh, that's a pre-existing condition. Feed him to the vampires.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen,
He's not gonna be able to work for at
it
least
can
a
also
day,
be
man.
like the same
Feed him
thing
to
like
the
my
vampires.
dad. My dad had stage 4 liver cancer, and they told him he would not survive, and he's cancer free now.
You know
That's
what?
why it's old people, not
He wouldn't have-
young people that are just
He
supposed
wouldn't
to
have had that
die.
chance in her world. Feed him to the
No, I
vampires.
never said young people that were dying. I said old people that are dying.
Oh man, that 12-year-old fell out of a tree and broke his arm. Oh, time to feed him to the vampires.
Okay,
Oh man, that old lady with type 2 diabetes that'll probably live for another 10 years. Let's feed her to the vampires.
okay. So what about the people? How do you classify old, Allison? That's the first thing you have to do. Is it a certain age? Is it a certain mentality? Is it a
Look, you can't
It's
just propose-
age, like
you
old
can't-
people, like can barely walk, serve
what
no good use to
classifies-
society anymore.
No, what classifies
d-
old?
And I doubt an old person who's literally minutes away from dying could even sustain an undead for more than like one bite.
Okay, but if you're talking about people that can't get around and are nothing to society, let's throw Betty White into this thing. How old is she? Like 90?
Hey!
Oh, that kid was in a horrible car accident and is now paralyzed.
No.
That's tons of vampires.
Vampires, yep.
Betty White is not dying though.
Testing. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, remarkably
Okay.
so compared to last time.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to end this call, so whenever it ends is when it ends.
Brandon's computer died and he's having internet issues. Feed him to vampires.
Rip.
Basically, Allison is feeding everybody to vampires.
I mean, there's
I
nothing
said
wrong
old
with that.
people that are dying.
Everybody except
Y'all are taking it like
Well, first of all, you have to constitute what does dying mean, and then secondly, you have to constitute what does old people mean. That has
not
to be.
Betty White.
That has to be. Well, she's like 92 years old. That's old.
Hey,
But she's
hey
not
Ben,
dying.
hey Ben, she's about to feed old people to an undead. I mean, she's already dying. Let's feed her to Sonya.
Yeah, exactly.
She's already dead. She's getting killed.
All right, this should be it. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, there we go. I got the control
Yeah.
room back up. Look at that. We're doing stuff. All right, what was the last thing you guys heard?
Wow, that's a great recovery, Brandon. I'm surprised we didn't feed you to the vampires earlier.
I know, right?
Um,
Tim with all the chutzpah.
the last thing we heard is that Arabella saw that it was very much like a drug addict from the den.
Yes.
Okay.
So this solution works, but it is unsustainable.
I also needed to mention what Arabella said when she realized this.
What did she say?
No one is allowed to be alone with Sona.
Oh yeah, that was also said. I did not copy and paste that part into here. But otherwise, the weakness part of Sona's problem is gone. So for the second day of anyone participating in the quest Yannon, Sona, most of the time when you look for Sona, she is actually walking around the house somewhere near Fiamore's room. Oftentimes looking towards it.
Well, I mean, they didn't cure, so I'm killing her, right? On the 30th?
Well, she only asks you that if she doesn't
Yeah,
turn
she's still undead, right? Yeah, she's still undead.
But anyways, with 2 successes on that check, Sona is more open to the idea of
Being killed.
feeding. Not necessarily gung-ho for it, but more so that she feels how her body's reacting to the magic, and that she is still scared of death too. She's kind of in an in-between.
Does it have to be human souls?
I think I sent Wesley the way they have to feed at either a one killing an intelligent living thing that sustains them for a week, killing a living magical creature capable of casting spells sustains them for a month, or 3, consuming a unused 3rd level spell slot from another living creature sustains them for a day.
Okay.
So we just find a dragon and they'll be good forever, right?
Yeah, sure.
Or a unicorn.
Yeah, if you want to curse her life. Does Eveline want to try and convince her more to eat?
Eve is, but she's also gonna come to her with like alternatives of like trying to find. find some sort of. Well, no, she's gonna have issues killing a creature. Yeah,
But
she's
you're-
gonna kill
a
but you're
creature.
really
Even like
with old people. Oh my god. Oh my god. You are literally Ted
Allison,
Cruz.
I love you.
you are only chaotic. There is no good. There is no neutral, no evil.
If Eveline takes her to the beach one day, she can probably eat a dolphin and be all right.
Yeah, like that. She wouldn't be able to watch, but
Nobody heard that.
what?
I said I would rather her eat old people.
Than a dolphin?
You.
Dolphins have an intelligence modifier of 6, which contrasts that to a swarm of rock grubs, which has an intelligence modifier of 1. Or no, I'm sorry, -5 for the swarm of rock grubs and -2 for dolphins.
Yeah, but they're
Are
a
they
swarm. They
dogs?
got teamwork. You don't even question it. They know
No,
exactly what they're
I
doing.
hope they're not dogs in this world because then Allison's gonna try to feed them to vampires.
No, old people first.
All right.
Then
So,
animals.
if you want, you can either roll another persuasion check trying to convince her, or try something sneaky with Amphitheater. Or you guys can just go out hunting and try and kill something.
Is there any chance of Arabella finding them doing this?
Well, I imagine from Arabella's standpoint, right now she's more focused on the Kraylor event that would be happening today.
So
What check would I need to go?
3 days trying to convince Sona?
Oh no! Yeah, you'd be off just doing whatever. Your time gets done, Sam. You could probably just take her hunting with you.
I would probably do that.
Next time I'm going to procrastinate.
All
Try
right.
and convince her some still, but also take her hunting as like an alternate form as well.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a survival check, because I think that's what it is in this edition.
Wouldn't it be a persuasion and a survival? Because I'm persuading her to eat and trying to take her hunting.
Well, I mean, at this point, she'd be pretty, as she does have her strength about her, she'd be pretty willing to just go kill something, as long as she doesn't have to eat somebody's soul doing so. Oh, you guys both.
Yeah, hence
do,
why I was trying to go for the persuasion.
You guys both do god awful on that. I'm
Or
gonna
just
roll
not them for their survival
percentage
skills.
die.
Who would have known?
Yeah. All right, so you guys spend the last day of this event hunting. You do terrible, just god awful. However, Sona gets a 15 on it and does a little less bad than you, but is able to hit a couple things with some firebolts, and just be near them as they sizzle and burn. It doesn't. She looks up and at you as this happens, and it's able to kill, I guess, a few rabbits and maybe a few small birds. And she looks up at you and says, "Well, I don't feel any different. I hope that worked." But instead, she seems to have enjoyed the act of hunting. For now, she is not turned. Eveline has one more event she can pick.
Between.
Oh yeah. Also, your date for Lilfear is marked for today. I think we'll just go through and get everybody on the same day. So I guess we'll just jump right down to who's next. Oh, Torque. Torque already did his stuff. for the first day. So, Tim, do you want me to summarize what Torque did?
Go
Or
for
do you want to? All right. So, Torque had the option of looking into the Heart of Embers in death. His Chantry partnered up with the Chantry of Unity, the one that was attacked. And basically, Torque is representing the Chantry of Flames, and they gave him a person to help with his investigation, Daphne the Unrepentant. They spend 2 days looking into the matter. Torque also solicits the help of Makana to help his investigation. Together, it takes them nearly an entire day to find Makana, as she does not make herself easy to find most of the time. Both Torque and let's see, just summarize that part. The trio is able to Makana, Daphne, and Torque are able to track down a meeting of the Heart of Embers zealots while they're having a private rally. The Heart of Embers members express disdain for the current leadership of the Chantry and say not only do the undead need to be culled, but all those who support other gods too. The trio learns of the location of the zealots' next meeting, and both Makana and Daphne offer contradicting plans. Torque instead decides to raid the rally and capture as many members of the cult as possible and interrogate them. Go ahead and roll me a... We're just going to kind of fast forward through the combat. Go ahead and roll me 3 attack rolls, and you can add your proficiency. And I will do 1 for each Daphne and Makana.
Do you want me to just do like a straight 20, or do you want me to actually use the thing in the character sheet?
You can use you can just roll 3 attacks from your character sheet.
All right. I want to use inspiration. Nah.
All right.
Torque isn't there to hit things.
Yeah, so immediately as you bust into this compound, somebody turns around and says, "Narcs!" But the 3 of you, the paladins and all, break into here and just start going ham. Makana and Daphne are able to knock out and kill a few cultists as people start fleeing this meeting. Torque,
why are they killing them? I wanted them alive.
Yeah. Torque, on the other hand, swings wildly with his hammer, but catches a few. But
I wouldn't be swinging my hammer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch them.
Yeah. From this whole fiasco, you guys are able to get rolling you 1d4 for each success. You guys get 7. You guys are able to capture 7 of these members.
Nice, and we have the meeting area secured, right?
Yeah. Makana and Daphne are able to set up a perimeter for you as you investigate. You want to roll me an investigation check?
Sure. Oh, -1.
I believe. 13. Torque isn't 100% sure what was going on down here, but there is literature, which at this time period would not be cheap at all to print. There are tapestries on the wall with the Heart of Embers.
So it's a well-funded meeting.
It is very well funded. Easily from this, Torque can tell somebody's bankrolling these guys.
All right.
Otherwise, that's about all he'd find down here.
I'm going to collect the literature and stuff like that.
Okay. You can add a buttload of papyrus.
Okay. Papyrus, quantity, buttload.
Hold on, I'm gonna roll you. You can add 28 sheets of papyrus.
Oh yeah,
There you go. They're all written on.
nice.
And handing them out to people will make them tilt their head and say, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, but I can. Hey, I got the literature too. I'm one of you.
Alrighty, we're gonna go on down to Arabella. We already did her thing for this day, and then we're gonna go to Acthou. Oh man, look at all this stuff for Acthou. So I haven't even read this. Shaq, do you want to summarize? Is Shaq still here?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Do you want to summarize Acthou's first day, or do you want me just to read it, or do you want to read it?
You can read it.
All right. So Acthou had 5 options, 6 options. And he chose he had a quest called Advice from Mentori. The noble Gavrilo Elslor is living in Somar Villa and is rumored to have been a legendary mercenary. With Acthou's free time, he could seek the man and ask for advice from one mercenary to another. Acthou goes to visit the man in his manor, which lies just outside of Somar Villa's borders. It seems as though the old mercenary has been taken to farming now. The manor is pretty exquisitely designed, befitting of a noble. Although the manor is pretty large, the amount of servants seen by Acthou seem to be far less than any noble Acthou has been in contact with. He goes up with the first servant he sees. The servant is milking a cow. Acthou asks if he could speak to Gavrilo. The servant asks, "Who are you?" Acthou is the second realest nigga here. Anyways, why do you want to speak to the master, etc. All the while, the servant is inspecting Acthou, and after he's done the question, he asks Acthou if he minds leaving his weapons with him. Acthou obliges. The servant then tells him to follow the trail along the right side of the manor. Lord Gavrilo should be in a small garden behind the manor, tending to the herbs. The servant says, Acthou... tending to the herbs, the servant says. Acthou thanks him and follows the trail. He comes across the man who is very welcoming. He says he doesn't get a lot of visitors. The man is extremely talkative, and he tells Acthou his life story. Acthou listens tentatively. After the man tells his story, Acthou tells him his. Blah, blah, blah. Then Acthou asks the man his opinion regarding the current situation. Acthou is pretty baffled that the man who is paying him chose to leave without a word. He also tells the man that he is unsure of the true intentions of each of the party members, and even the goals of Arabella and Zai are hidden from him. Interesting, says Gavrilo. I think you may find the answers you're seeking by following the one so-called Zai. All of that would be fairly accurate, except for Gavrilo's conversation would be a lot less warm and a lot more like, man, I bashed this dude's head in once. It was great, and like, you know, blood went every. And it.
Then I went and banged a bunch of prostitutes for free.
Okay.
Gavrilo would also ask what led Acthou to wanting to become an adventurer or a mercenary.
Okay. Oh, to find out the people who burned down my church or whatever.
He doesn't
That was
really
raised
care
up.
about it. It was just a whatever church.
Yeah. And I think on that question, the outcome of the conversation would change a little bit. Gavrilo would probably still tell you to stay close to Zai, but he'd probably also add somewhere along the lines of, if flames are involved, have you thought about looking into the Chantry of Discipline?
Okay.
The Zealots have never been able to keep their fires controlled.
He needs to shut his goddamn mouth.
George's like, I'm working on it.
I'll send these extremists to his house.
All right. So you guys pretty much stay in conversation for that whole day. And as Acthal leaves to get back to his duties, well, none of those make any sense. I'm just going to re-roll that. As Acthal leaves to go back to his duties, Gavrilo offers Acthal a +1. Gavrilo offers Acthal a short sword.
Okay.
It is magical and it is +1. He says when he was just starting out his adventures on Galkin, he used this traveling from Northhold down to the Clutch, and says it's seen a lot of battle, but it's still useful.
All right, I take it and thank him.
All right, we're going to come back to your second thing. I will read it later. We're going to skip down to Zai. I am bad. I accept that. What? All right, Ben, do you want to summarize what Zai's doing in the capital, or do you want me to
You can do it.
read it? Okay, so Zai had a different set of options. He can always come back to Somar Villa and partake of any of the other things there. But the three things happening in the capital specifically was the trial, was a run-in. Then Zai has a contact he could go meet in the capital, and he could also choose to look into Lilfir's background. Then I guess there's a fourth option here that says Zai is bad and should feel bad. And I guess you picked that one. But let's see. Zai desires political power, ultimately wants to end up like the kings and queens and councils of the cabinet. Upon arriving in the capital, he seeks Lizzy and her information. Perhaps she can provide insight on politicians and who are vulnerable to attack. And I poop my pants whenever my bowels are full. I'm going to roll that one as a 10. That feels like a 10. It's just, there you go. All right. So a run-in with the lizard. Lizzy is always busy collecting information as she can, collecting information, as much information as she can on the upper class of the capital. Zai's informant in the city could hold more information on the going-ons of the capital and perhaps shed a light on what the outcome of what each event might mean for the world. So yes, Lizzy is really politically connected. And by connected, she just pays attention. All right. So the first thing is she is incredibly surprised to see Zai, as there was no warning, no anything. The second thing Zai notices is, yeah, she does not look any prettier. She's still hideous as all fudge.
That's fair and fine.
Ben and I rolled up this NPC together for him, and for her NPC quirk, she got the trait exceptionally ugly.
She's about a 2.
On a good day.
Or on Brandon's scale of 7.
When
Because
she's wearing a bag.
Yeah, but Lizzy is super surprised to see Zai, but nonetheless greets him with the utmost respect. Is there anything specifically Zai would want to ask her about?
Yeah, would like to mention to her about my aspirations for political power, and would like to inquire about if there are any politicians she thinks would be easily taken down to where I could take their position.
I'm going to roll her some knowledge checks just to see what she has going on. So one of the things she would mention is she says that a marriage just happened in the Chantry of Unity. For Lady Sorrel, one of the biggest inheritance of one of the 5 biggest houses, marrying the heir to one of the other largest 5 houses, and that's probably going to be the biggest power swing. Probably going to be the biggest power swing in the capital right now. And that if Zai wants to move up in the world, helping either of them would greatly favor him.
Okay.
The other thing she would know about is the vice administrator for the Immigration Council just got appointed to his job, and he is not doing a good job.
Okay.
The last one was replaced, and the new one has had a pretty stressful time in office.
I think Zai would like to do that.
All right, help out with immigration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I
you're
got-
gonna be ice. I wasn't paying attention.
I feel like that's a
Okay.
good foot in the door politically.
Yeah. Zai can head over to the Immigration Council.
Sure.
It would be in the Palace District.
Okay.
Does he have any way of getting inside the palace?
I mean, I am the heir to the royal, not a royal, but to a lord's house. Does that have any pull?
The tolls specifically, no.
Shit. All right. What would be my options? How would I get in there? Like, I have a ton of money. I could just buy my way in.
That would be one option, trying to bribe a guard. Another would be there is the trial on the 27th, which would be open to the public, which takes place inside the Palace District.
Okay.
Other than that, perhaps allying yourself with somebody powerful and just walking in.
Okay. Let's see.
Sneaking in would also be an option too.
Yeah, I'll try to sneak in. That'll work. Let's do that.
Okay. The Palace District is surrounded by a stone wall.
Okay.
So you would have to make a decent climb check to get over it, and a stealth check to avoid the guards moving about on top of it.
Uh-huh.
So you can just roll me a combination of those two. And obviously, going through the backside of the Palace District from the Maiden's Watch area would be the easiest way.
Okay, you said a stealth check?
Yeah, give me an athletics check and a stealth check.
Okay, hold on a second.
If you guys ever wanted to know how characters get thrown in jail, this is how it happens.
Or they try and save undead kids.
You said acrobatics?
Stealth? Athletics to climb and stealth to avoid the guards.
Okay. Oof. And
Well,
I'll give you inspiration, Ben. From across the continent.
well, Zai is real proficient at sneaking around, and he'd be able to get into the palace if he could get up the wall.
can I try to climb up the wall again?
Yes, you can. It doesn't seem to be going well for Zai. You can roll another climb.
Scrub.
How do I go from rolling a nat 20 to a nat 0 back to back?
Anyone who watches this in the future, Zai rolls a 4 on his climb check, a 26 on his stealth check, and then a 0 on his next climb check. He ain't going nowhere.
Oh my god. How do I go from rolling a nat 20 to a nat 1? What?
Yeah,
What?
Zai can
Scrub.
Zai can spend the rest of the day gathering information on the vice, or rather, he can gather information on the whole immigration council if he wants.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
Apparently I can't climb.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check, and Lizzie's going to help you out, and she's going to roll 1 too.
Okay. A 7.
All right. Zai's pretty defeated with his arms, man. But luckily, Lizzy is able to help you out. We are going to, or rather, no, we're catching you up to the second day. So you spend the rest of the day there trying to gather information. You and Lizzy are able to collect that the last vice administrator of the immigration council fell terribly ill for all of the month of Father. Especially, he lost his wife and then became sick. And after nearly a whole month of not doing his job, he was replaced by the new administrator, whose name is Rani Iravi.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is, well, the other administrator was the other vice administrator was an elf. This guy is a half elf, and he ain't doing well.
Like he's sick, or he's just struggling at his job.
He's struggling at his job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on the next day, it would probably be best if Zai tried to catch him outside of the Palace District.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps trying to catch him on his way into work or something near that effect.
Yeah, I'll try to do that. It's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, Lizzy would probably be able to track down where he lives. She got a 17 on her gather information, which would be a 19 because she'd be proficient in investigation. Yeah, you guys are able to track him down. Leaving his house, he lives on the north side of town in so I just misplaced that sheet. I'll find it later. Wow, that kills me. I just had the map of the city in front of me and I lost it. Anyways, yeah, he lives on the north side of town. I forgot the name of it off the top of my head. But yeah, you guys will be able to find him there. He's walking with a royal guard, 2 of them towards the Palace District. Oh, Eveline. That is the name of the side of town he lives on.
Okay, could you refresh my memory of his name?
Rani Iravi. R-A-N-I.
Hold on. R-A-N-I.
Yes.
Okay.
E-R-I-V-A-I.
R-E-I-V-A-I.
And
Iravi. Okay.
what does Zai want to say to him?
I'll just walk up to him and introduce myself.
Okay. Does Zai want to try and convince him to give him any seat of power?
Not right off the bat. I'm just gonna be like, hey, let's be friends.
Okay. Roll me a flat charisma check.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get back to roll 20. Okay. God bless America.
I will allow you to add your proficiency with that, which I guess is a 11 at this level. Or are you guys level 5?
It's 2.
Okay, yeah. So that'd be an 11. Yeah, Irvi seems pretty focused today. And as you introduce yourself to him while he's walking towards his carriage, he's just kind of nods and says, yeah, got it. Okay. It's great to meet you.
Okay. I would like to rebuttal with that, saying that I would like to work for him or with him.
Okay. Does Zai want to suggest any ways that he might be useful?
I'm good at sneaking around and learning stuff from people.
Is that how Zai puts it?
I'm elegant with words.
I mean, with more eloquent words.
This is the wordsmith.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll me one more charisma check. And I'm going to roll him a flat percentage die to see if he needs anybody like that.
Oh my God.
How? No, that's wrong.
How does this happen?
Yeah, that's wrong, dude. There's no way.
All right, so these rolls is a 0, 7, 9, and another 9.
That's like more than a 1 in 400 chance.
How?
That math. When you mention that you're good at sneaking around, Ranny takes note of you, but looks at the guards around him and says, "Clearly, I have no need for that." And he nods to Zai as he gets in his carriage.
Asshole.
Zai can roll me an insight check for free.
Okay. Am I dumb? Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Zai's able to pick up from that nod. It was more respect than he's shown you the whole time he's been talking to you.
Okay. Is he like driving away now, or?
Yeah, they are clomping away.
Okay.
All right. Zai spend this day in the capital?
Yeah.
All right. He can frolic around with Lizzy.
Okay.
And
Sure.
you guys-
I'll talk to Lizzy about stuff and whatnot.
Okay.
Stuff and junk and stuff.
We're going to jump back up to the top and finish through Eveline. So, yeah, you go hunting with Lilt or with Sona that day, and then the next day. How do you spend that time skip? Allison? Oh, she's muted.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry, what?
Did you decide what Eveline's other event was going to be?
I thought 4 days was already taken up. Or I
You
didn't know
only
my
picked one.
options for the event. You
Yeah.
just said I had the option to meet up with Lil Fair. I didn't. What's the other option?
Any of the other three mentioned at the top. So you already did the help with the miss or with Yannon. If there's anything else Eveline wants to do, you can also suggest that to me, as you know
Okay.
your character more than I do.
She probably wouldn't be too worried about the ball. She knows that Lil Phil will come find her again, so she's not really worried about like meeting up with her, because they didn't say like that they would on that date. She would probably go and spend the day, honestly, trying to find ways to keep helping Sonia, like doing research and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, you
Seeing
can
if
go
she
ahead
can
and
find
roll an
alternate
investigation check.
All
14! That's what I'm talking about. Highest roll in the past 20 minutes. Or wait, no. There's a stealth check. Never mind. Okay. Give me a second to think on that, and I'll come back to you. So, Torque, moving towards the 29th, as your events for the 28th, or the 27th, 28th, and 29th are kind of spoken for. Your investigation or your interrogation of the undead children, or not the undead children, the cultists you kidnapped. Daphne explains to you that this is kind of where she excels at, and says that if you're willing, she could squeeze out information from them.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Yeah, she spends a couple hours with 3 of the 7 prisoners you guys captured, and she is able to confirm that yes, they are bankrolled. And she's also able to confirm that you guys caught a higher-ranking member in the cult. However, she is unable to get him to talk.
What method did she use? I'm going to ask her.
She says, I was, as my God instructs, merciful and polite. And
did you use Zone of Truth?
she shakes her head. It is then you become aware she is not capable of casting spells.
Okay. All right. Let's gather all 7 of them in a close area, and if Makana will, I'll ask her to cast Zone of Truth on them.
Okay, she will. 7 of them will make a charisma check against her DC, and I will allow you 5 questions. All right. So here is what you know. 1, I'm going to give you some numbers, and this is how I'm going to refer to them. 1 failed, 2 failed, 3 failed, 4 failed, 5 passed, or I'm sorry, 4 passed, 5 passed, 6 failed, and 7 failed. The third one in the line is the one Daphne points out as being a high-ranking member.
So only 4 and 5 passed?
Yes.
All right. Drag them out of there and we're going to just put them in another group, another area. Separate them. The 2 that passed.
All right. They feel special.
Yeah, you are special when you're rotting in a prison cell.
All right. What's Torque's 5 questions? You want me to come back to them, or you want to ask them now?
I guess I could ask. I know one of them, and it's who's bankrolling you, who's funding you.
Now the text of Zone of Truth, they can't knowingly speak a lie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll just see how generally smart some of these guys are.
I can be very charismatic as well.
Yeah. I mean, Torque can. He's a paladin. You notice specifically number 1 and number 6 don't look particularly bright.
All right.
Number 1 says, the goddess of fires is. all of them, they can't knowingly speak a lie, but all of them nod at his statement. And number 6 says, "Wait, she is?"
All right. I want to separate number 6 from the group.
He's got a pretty dull expression on his face. His mental faculties aren't quite processing, as I rolled on a D percentage for him from 1 to 100, and he got a 3.
Yeah. And number 6 and number 1 are dumb, right?
How did you tie them up?
How did we tie them up?
Yes. It's very important right now.
Yeah, I don't have rope on me. I imagine one of them had rope. If I needed to, I would use my my paladin ability to ensnare them.
Okay. That only lasts for so long, but you could easily have gotten rope from Daphne.
Yeah.
With the slight mobility of his hands, though, number 6 begins to pick his nose. Four more questions.
All right. So I've removed number 1 and number 6 and I'm gonna just lump them in the same group as 4 and 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna separate number 3.
Okay.
And I'm gonna talk to 2 and 7.
2 and 7. Alrighty.
And I'm gonna let them know I get them a real good deal. That I will let them go scot-free, no problem. If they tell me in specifics who's bankrolling them. And none of this goddesses of fire crap, a human being or undead or something.
Okay.
With
Roll
a
me a
pulse.
persuasion check.
I'll use my inspiration on this if I.
Okay.
Yeah. So 15.
15?
Yeah. So I'm gonna use my inspiration for advantage.
It is up to you.
What do you mean?
Oh, wait. Oh, you did use it. Okay,
yeah, I used
cool.
it for advantage. Yeah.
Number
It's for both of you. You both had the option.
This is 2 and 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 bites his lip and looks back at number 3. Number 7, however, says it's a noble by the name of Allison.
Okay, spell that for me.
Aelecahn. Allison.
H-N.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna throw number 2 into the dumb pile.
Hey, he got a 30.
Yeah, but he didn't help me. He didn't.
Number 7 says to you, "So I'm free to go?"
Yeah, after we ask you a couple more questions, but yeah, no problem.
3 more questions.
So it's a noble. You have any information on where we can find him or her? Is it a he or a she? That's all grouped together, isn't it?
Actually, I never rolled that up.
Oh,
I
okay.
just know what they want. I'm an evens or odds it. I gotta set which one's which. Evens, male, odds, female. 3. It is male.
All right.
Knowledge check if they know that. They would know that. Yeah, they say it's a male. And, yeah, they say they don't have very much contact with them.
Not very much contact, but you You think number 3 over there would, huh?
That's going to count as one of your questions.
Is it? No, then never mind. I ain't doing that shit. I know number 3 knows. All right. I'm gonna mark. Let's see. Well, let me check something. I just want to make sure I had something. Yeah, I have a pen. I'm gonna mark Good Boy on top of number 7's head.
All right.
And I'm gonna put him in another group away from the dumb people.
He is not at all insulted by that.
Because he knows he's getting off easy.
All right. You have 2 more questions.
All right, I'm gonna pull number 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring. I guess I'm gonna let Daphne watch them since she's good at torturing. So maybe she's good at watching the people she's tortured or questioned. My bad. And I'm gonna try and use, like, got 2 imposing people standing over top of you. I'm gonna ask them where we can find Alican. We know he's bankrolling you. And if you help us, I'll give you the same deal as number 7.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
He looks at you and says, "I just walk away scotch-free."
You're a little different, but it'll be much more lenient than your other buddies over there.
He says, "I want to negotiate the terms of my release." Then,
all right, well then start negotiating.
He says, "After this, I will be allowed to practice my faith freely."
Yeah, as long as you're not setting yourself or other things or other people on fire.
He nods and says, "And no repercussions shall come to me or my family."
You'll need to repent at the chantry. Your family's not a part of this.
He nods again and says, "I only wish to be around for the goddess's cleansing fire then."
We'll live long enough and maybe your dream will come true.
He says, Alican comes to the city, or comes to Somar Villa once a week to give us supplies and gold. We are not the only offset of his hand.
All right. And
he tilts his head and says, "And what?"
I asked him where they meet. Like, where can I find this person?
He says he sends a raven a day prior, and we meet in a designated location.
All right.
I'm sorry, I said Torque had 2 questions left. He had 3 because that other one was a joke. So you got 1 more.
Where do they catch that raven at?
I'm gonna roll a intelligence check for Torque. Or no, not for Torque. For Daphne and Makana.
We already know how stupid Torque is.
Yeah, I'll allow Torque to make 1 too for free.
Oh, I can do an intelligence check. All right.
Yes, for free.
Oh shit, he's not that dumb right now.
Woo! You beat Daphne by 1 point. Daphne steps up to interrupt you. But as you do, you hold up your hand and it's like, "Wait, woman, I just had the same thought." The thought goes through Torque's mind before the man answers that question. Wait, what if he already has a raven?
They've already, because they just did a meeting, so it might be another week before he shows up again. And he might already have the raven. We could send him a letter back.
Or perhaps he might have a meeting spot already designated.
Yeah. There's a lot of options, I guess. I'm trying to think, would that be something we would search him for, or a location he would have that we'd need to go to, though, still to find the raven? Or if he knew the meeting spot.
Well, yeah, you didn't ask him. You didn't ask him if he knew the next meeting spot.
Yeah. I don't know what question I want to ask.
If I stopped you, I would go for the gamble.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking. Do you? Yeah, because I already have an idea. Is if there isn't already a meeting spot, I'm gonna ask him if there's already a meeting spot set up for his next visit.
He shakes his head.
Up or down, left or right?
He shakes his head no.
No. All right. I want to slap him a little bit and tell him to use his words. Just a light one. Just a light one.
Yeah. Trying to speak, he can't bring himself to speak. He then says, "There is."
There is.
He nods weakly.
Where?
He was banking on Torque's stupidity.
Where?
The man,
you want that good boy mark on your head, don't you?
The man volunteers to show you, on the account that he is led there, unshackled.
I need a location.
It seems you guys are at an impasse.
I need a location, or he's not going to be let go freely and given protection from the church from these people.
Torque can roll me another persuasion check.
All right. I think he's going to tell me.
Yeah, he looks at you and he gives Torque an address and a date.
Nice. Torque's like doing like a little like this. Yes. Yes.
All right. So do you release them?
No, I write "good boy" on his head, and everybody's going back to the chantry because even the people that I'm going to let be released are going to need to repent and do a confession, and then we're going to try and put a secret patrol on both of them.
Okay. All right. So that's going to eat up the rest of Torque's day.
Yep.
And we're going to shimmy on down. All right, Arabella. Arabella on this day. You want me to summarize it, Sam? All right. Yeah. Since Sam's mic's muted, I'm going to summarize it. Arabella is at the manor, and sometime during this day, Lord Zyshin, the person Arabella gave her Oathblade to, comes by and hands her, or hands a servant the Oathblade, and instructs the servant to give it back to her. When the servant does so, they give it back to Arabella, also adding in the added detail that Lord Zyshin was missing an arm when he returned it. And immediately Arabella sets off after him. She gives the Oathblade back to him, and explains that she still has interest in him. And he explains that he took the blade out on a hunt, that ended disgracefully. He and his hunting party tracked a dire wolf, with which he engaged in single combat, and turns out he was his stomach got the better of him, and he began vomiting and rolled everything with disadvantage. The wolf ripped off his arm and nearly killed him before the rest of his hunting party saved him. And when he went with this hunting party, he was convinced to bring along some other more talkative nobles who would spread the word of his heroic deeds, which instead backfired, and word spread like wildfire of his ineptitude on the battlefield. And Zaishin explains to Arabella that he is going to head to the capital to try and put out some of these fires before they can spread. And he's always been an excellent, or had an excellent sword hand, and that this was very, very, very strange for him. And that's going to eat away that day for Arabella. Akthau, on his second day, our second event, Akthau sang a verse of the Forgotten Song. Oh, did you want to summarize this, Shaq?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I was going around the town singing and stuff. The verse that I found, and some other people that are looking for all the fragments of the song and trying to put it together. They found me and was hearing the song, the verse that I was singing, and they didn't know I had it. So we started talking. And we pretty much just hung out for the day and just and drank. And hung out.
Okay, I'm going to roll Akthau a percentage die, because that's everybody's favorite roll in the world.
Oh yeah, and they gave me something, but I was gonna let you choose what they gave me.
Okay. Oh, all right. So as Akthau is gathering people to listen to his song, and they go about singing and drinking, that night, as you're leaving the tavern, and you're making your way back to the manor, Akthau is followed by several men with torches.
Awesome.
When Akthau gets sufficiently away from the city core, he is attacked.
Awesome.
You can go ahead and just roll me 3 attack rolls to see how you do.
Okay.
Listen, you'll never be complete without me. It took some time, but I came to realize that I need you.
All right. So, Akthau is able to dispatch 2 of them easily, as they seem like commoners, and they run away holding their wounds. One man stays and fights nearly to the death, exclaiming that there is only one true God. Him and his 2 remaining lackeys are able to overpower Akthau before finally 3 of the people who you were singing to earlier come to Akthau's aid. And with their aid, you're able to overpower the last 3 of them. Does Akthau kill them or let them go?
Let them go.
All right. They run off, all proclaiming the same thing. There's only one true God.
I'll just say all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will decide your gift later, but yeah, at this point, the three who are rather the three people who came and helped you would be the ones imparting the gift on you.
Okay.
All right, moving down to Zai. What's the second event Zai takes part in?
I guess it'll be the court case.
Okay. So, and the way that plays out, that would be the day before, before you talk to Ranny, as it takes place on the 27th, and then you could spend your second day talking to Ranny with, the events that already happened.
Oh, I thought the court took place after.
Yeah. Well, no, the date's just set on the 27th. Any of these things can be happening in that order.
Okay.
Anyways, the trial of Seth Kalir. Does Zai do anything to change the outcome of it?
Well, let me read this thing real quick again.
Okay. I'll read it for the whole group as you read it too. The trial of Seth Kalir. Zai arrives in the capital just in time for a major political trial. A former general is being charged with negligence. The general, who was once a great hero, who arose out of the mountainous north, made a military career for herself and was on the fast track to marrying the magnate's son before the fall of Westland. Now she faces being stripped of her rank, exiled from her nation, imprisonment, or possibly even execution.
That was a lot of noise. I don't necessarily know if there is anything I could do to influence the trial.
Attending the trial, in the jury of councilmen, who are watching the proceedings in the distance, you can see Typhus Seasons.
Oh, okay. Is he he's involved in the trial, isn't he?
He is. He has a vote.
It's the nymph that he brought to your.
Yeah. I know who the girl is. I guess I'm just gonna watch to see what happens.
Okay. This event is a little undecided right now. So there is a small possibility of retconning it. But as far as everything that's going on right now, the two nobles who seem most sympathetic to the explanations of the events that occurred and Seth's pleas, are rather not nobles, council members, is definitely Typhus Seasons, and then also Lady Anadelia Surreal. Seems pretty moved by her testimony. However, once the vote comes up for her, guilty or innocent verdict, every counselor in unanimously votes guilty. Some do so with heads turned.
So they voted guilty, huh?
And this proceeding takes pretty much the entire day. Seth begins to rage and scream. As this happens, yelling at different council members, proclaiming things like, "Who bought you? Who bought you? Who bought you?" And she is let out of the courtroom.
Interesting.
With that, there's really no celebration. The council members each stand up and leave pretty solemnly. does I want to try and follow any of them?
Can I roll an insight or an investigation check on the whole who bought you thing?
You can.
I'll roll investigation. Hey, look at that.
Yeah. Zai can. How would Zai be investigating this?
Say that again.
I said, how would Zai be investigating it?
I guess he would just be. Well, I guess that would actually be more of an insight than an investigation. He's just curious and wants to try to figure out
I'll allow that roll as an insight if you just add your insight bonus instead. So it's going to be a 19 plus your insight bonus.
Well, it'll just be a 19 then.
Okay. Yeah, Zai can pretty much look up and see that a lot of people aren't happy. A lot of the council members who voted aren't happy about what they had to do. Especially Typhus, who I think Zai had a conversation about Seth on more than one occasion. If anybody was sympathetic to her cause, it would probably be the council member who was working with her closest. However, there was well-rationed arguments that the saboteurs who snuck inside of Westwind were just real proficient at what they did, and that Seth was innocent in it. However, a unanimous vote seems to have other political motivations.
I'm gonna follow. Can I follow Typhus?
You can.
Okay, I'm gonna try to speak with Typhus.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of the council members don't proceed to private chambers, but instead have conversations with each other after the trial. Mm-hmm. You're able to find him having a conversation with one of these members. He would notice you instantly, actually, because he remembers you. He'd say, like, "Young Master Zai."
But walk up to him and give him a handshake and say, "So good to see you again, my friend."
Yeah. He shakes your hand back. Is there anything specifically Zai would try and talk to him about?
Yeah, he would try to again gain knowledge about why she was shouting, "Who bought you? Who bought you?" Or whatever she said.
Typhus would look very concerned at that when Zai asked him, and kind of show a defeated look and say, this was a very hard decision for me. I had to show solidarity with my fellow countrymen over loyalty to a friend.
Well, I would just look back at him and say that Seth didn't seem like the type of person to land such glaring accusations on people without a good reason. Sure, she might be a little, off kilter and gets mad easily, but she doesn't seem like the type to lie or falsely accuse people.
He would. I'm actually going to roll him a check. Looking terribly torn at his decision, and possibly fighting back a sniffle as he speaks. He would go on to explain the political climate and say that that Arter Sarai just narrowly avoided a civil war, and that Seth being from the north, being put so quickly in charge of someplace far in the south was already a hot button topic. And while she didn't manage the fort the best, if she skated by the fall of Westwind without any repercussions, large number of the nobility would probably have gone into open revolt.
I see. And
And he says, with that, I condemned a friend to death for the love of my country.
I'm gonna ask about the person, or ask why the person who put her in charge, or who was in charge of giving her such a such a tasking and tolling position. Like, why was she given that position?
Oh man, Ben. I have that name, but it's in a document in 3 other different folders far away. It is a general, and I do believe his name is Kraylor.
Kraylor?
Yeah, Kraylor is like the Steve of this world,
Gotcha.
but it is in a document. If you want the exact name, I can pull it up for you. It will probably never be referenced again. Let's see.
Kraylor, isn't that Arabella's food thing?
Kraylor is Aishin.
Yeah.
Kraylor is the Steve of this world, apparently.
There are a lot of Kraylors.
Yeah, essentially. All right, so my next thing I would like to ask Typhus is if he had any work for me, if there's any way I could, explain to him about how I want to help the country and serve politically and all that stuff, and ask him if he knows how I could do that. What?
Hi, General Edwin.
Edwin,
that was the guy's name.
you found it.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I know, right?
Okay.
There is a General Kraylor, but he is a general of a different region. I'm sorry, what did you say with that last comment?
I just want to ask him about how I could get started politically in the capital, or in the country. If he has any insight or work for me or something I could do to jumpstart my career.
He nods towards where Seth was led out and said, for those proficient with the blade, the military can move you very quickly to high places. But then he goes on to add, however, I guess it doesn't favor everyone, and instead suggest joining the Nazram cause, as anyone can join the Nazram cause and be highly respected.
The what? Spell that?
Nazram, Nozeram.
Nazram. Okay. What is it? What is the Nazram clause?
Cause?
Yeah.
He says it's. He explains to you it's a giant multi-nation effort to fight the undead.
Okay.
And it is composed of the 3 Sunsarai kingdoms, which would be Alilnagai, Ardersarai, and Heimsdale.
Okay.
He says members of the Nazram cause normally share no allegiance to country, but a dedication to their goals to improve the world, and as such are often respected in any of the 3 major countries they reside in.
Okay. Cool. I want to do that.
Okay.
The immigration thing didn't work out.
That will be the last day of Zai's time in the capital.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go back up to Allison.
Yes.
Oh, hey, I was supposed to be thinking of stuff for you. You were researching ways to have Sona live.
Yeah, to either cure her or alternate forms of blah blah blah, just anything I could find.
Okay. Yeah, as Sam or rather as Arabella found out on very, very rare occasion, it seems a very tried and true method as the times that this has been recorded happening. Killing her and casting a true resurrection spell on her would bring her back to life soul intact.
Do I find anything else?
Anything else? What was the result of your check?
Let's see. 14.
I got 14 investigation.
Mhm.
Where would Eveline be looking at? Because I would determine if she finds the last method.
Well, she has 2 days, so she'll be looking for like anything she can get her hands on.
Okay, she can roll me another check for the second day.
Okay. Investigation as well?
Yep, flat 16 gets you the other method. Otherwise, yeah, it depends on who you're asking. Because this isn't knowledge that everybody has.
Trying to think.
You'd get it on a 14 if you ask the right type of people.
Yeah. Could I roll a history check to see if I know anything that might lead me towards the right place to go?
Sure. Yeah, just things that come to Eveline's mind. Hey, isn't Lady Nakart undead? The other thing that comes to her mind is there is a Nazaram office in town, as that is where Arabella did her initial research at. And they're dedicated to fighting a particular set of undead on the other side of the world. Yeah, and then Eveline also knows there is an entire country of undead people back on Galkin, too. That type of thing can't be sustainable for living people, as, you know, there aren't enough living people to kill to sustain an entire population.
So I guess you would do research on them.
Okay. Would she go to a library, or would she be asking around for it?
She'd probably like be
'Cause
asking around, but close to Lady Nakart's manor, like closer to there.
Okay, I'm gonna roll you a percentage die. Because, you know, once again, if you ask Joe Blow's like, what? I don't know. All right, so you are able to ask 3 different people around there.
Mm-hmm.
Most of which don't know. However, you do encounter I gotta pull this up because there is one person who would happily give up information. You do encounter a man who says he'll tell you for gold.
How much gold?
He says how much you got.
I'll say 13 gold pieces.
He shrugs and then says, this information's worth at least 14.
We'll pull it out of her pockets and literally turn her pocket inside out and say, "You think I jest?"
How is Eve carrying that magic dagger she has? Does she have
I
the
don't have a
magic
magic dagger.
Does she not have it?
No, you never sent me my list of like loot that I'm carrying, so I assume I'm not carrying it on me at the moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he'll take the 13 gold.
Okay.
And then he'll say he's traveled to the Darkened Vale. The undead there did something where they killed the land. And rather than eating the souls of the living, whatever ritual they did on the land there sustains them.
She'll ask, do you know where I can find out more information about this?
This NPC is so weird. Annoyed by obscure lore. Hobbies, studies archaeology. It's like, I hate what I do. I hate it. But
He's
I
so
love it
invested
much.
in it. That's why he's annoyed.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? I just gotta find out. That's probably what it is. I just gotta find out. Yeah. What was your question?
I'm asking him if he knows anywhere else I could go to find out information on it, or just know more about how they did what they did and exactly how it works.
He asked you, wait, are you looking to do that here? Nazram will have your head.
Eve will shake her head and say, no, I'm just looking for alternative methods because I know that this whole country tends to have a little bit of an undead problem.
He shakes his head and says it's the whole world, but instead, tells you that perhaps a powerful druid would be able to give you some information on it, or maybe some scholar who studies obscure lore, as he focuses on archaeology and dead societies.
She'll say, could you point me in the direction of any of that? Of either?
Hey, got a chance to introduce Wesley's character. Yeah, he'll say he has a friend coming to town later today, and he'll introduce you to him.
She'll say, sorry, I just thought of something really funny to do.
All right, we're almost finished with the time skip. We're on everybody's final, most everybody's final day. Some people are done.
And then how bad would it be if I gave him the stone with the eye on it as a thank you?
He's not helpless. He'd be really shocked. And then
I'm not gonna do it.
annoyed,
I thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I would be really it'd be hilarious.
Okay, so we're going to go through the. By the way, the date that Eve has written on her letter is for this day, the 30th.
Yeah.
Does she go to it?
No, because they've already talked and they didn't say that was still a meeting time. So she's gonna assume that Lil Affair will just come find her.
Okay. Moving on down. Does Torque go to try and intercept Alakan?
Oh yeah, sure. Also, it was like 5 other prisoners that we captured that I wasn't gonna go lenient on. I'm gonna give those to the Chantry of Unity or whatever, the Dathane's Church or whatever.
Okay.
Since they were the ones attacked by them, and they're from our church, so they kind of deserve to dole out their punishment.
Okay. All right, so you head to the spot where the meeting was instructed to, or that you were told where the meeting would be at. And as you get there, the first thing you notice is there is a caravan of carriages coming towards this part of town. It is a small market of sorts on the north side of town. And as you get there to notice the caravans coming, somebody sets a vendor stall on fire. There is screaming in the marketplace as people go to run over here.
We're gonna ignore that and keep an eye on the carriages.
Okay. The carriages of the noble, or rather, the carriages coming in are the horses are spooked, and the carriage drivers are trying to get them under control. They're gonna handle animal checks for it. Two of them are able to get under control, as the one in the middle is not able to control. Oh, pup, chill out. Is not able to control his horse, and the horses begin to buck and run, moving the carriage with them as they run from the fires and the running crowds.
Can we roll to see if there's anything suspicious or out of place with those carriages?
You can.
Investigation, I would guess. Or
Yeah,
insight,
it'd be a perception, or yeah, probably insight.
Insight. I got a 14.
You got a 14.
Yeah.
Makana and Daphne are gonna roll with you. Makana's going to say, "Oh, that's definitely the carriages that we're looking for," and she's going to notice. She's not going to notice anything specifically denoting them, but she will notice that there are banners of nobility on them, although you guys don't recognize the Soul Sarai marks. Both of you can kind of put together that the events happening around these carriages, someone else knew they were going to be here.
Yeah.
As of right now, there is a small panic happening around them. The one carriage had to cut off its horses and let them go before they toppled the carriage trying to escape. And it's kind of moved in a place that makes the one behind it hard to move. And the other carriage can't move from the other people running towards it.
Do we see anything getting removed from them?
It's kind of a chaotic spree right now, but you guys can probably assume somebody is trying to rob these.
Yeah, we want to move up on them.
Okay.
On the carriers. Seeing as everything's gone to shit.
All right. Yeah, you can move to the carriage. What do you want to do as you're up there? You see a man standing atop of it, kind of yelling at the people running by, saying, "Hey, stop! Get out the way! We gotta. There are other stalls burning. Go put those out. What? Stop!" As people continue to flood by him.
Like what? Is he like one of the carriage drivers or something?
Yes,
or
he is.
Okay. And do we see anybody like snatching shit out of the back of them?
If you move around and look, let's see. Go ahead and give me a perception check. You actually notice someone putting things inside the carriages.
Inside of them. All right. I want to snatch that guy,
Okay.
and I want to snatch whatever he put in that carriage.
All right.
We're going for the guy first, though.
Yeah. You want to give me a grapple check?
A grapple.
Yes.
I could just use my power on him.
Your ensnaring thing?
Yeah. Do we even have grapple anymore?
Yes.
Athletics.
Yes,
or...
it is an attack action. You substitute one of your attacks for an athletics check.
Okay, so just roll athletics.
Yes.
All right. 10.
All right. I gotta pull up their scores. They can test you with a acrobatics check.
All right.
And you have
Oh, so it's multiple? Oh no, it's only one person.
yeah. You have them within your grip. As they just barely slip out, beating your check by one. Literally one.
Kind of want to use Nature's Wrath.
Yeah.
What are the other two doing? Makana and Daphne?
They'd be wading through the crowd, trying to catch up to Torque's sporadic thinking.
All right.
The person runs away as you grab them.
So I can use my divinity. I guess we're gonna confiscate this cart. We're gonna pull the cart owner down, and Torque's gonna go through the back of it and try and find what was put in it.
Okay. So there are still a good number of people fleeing, and the fires are getting closer over here as more of the smaller stalls burn up. Let's see if I have a picture to kind of display the small market. So yeah, and does Torque try and disperse the crowd?
I'm already behind the cart, right?
Yes, you are.
I'm just trying to grab what's put in the back of it while I'm telling the other two to get that wagon owner up top of that wagon driver up top of it off and take them down.
Okay. You see about maybe several dozen small black sacks.
All right, I'm taking all of them.
Okay, it's going to take Torque a second to collect them all.
That's fine.
All right, does he look what's inside of them?
He's just trying to get them right now. He wants to get a hold of all of them in there before the fire gets too close to him and the people start pushing around him too much.
Okay. He's able to collect all of them. He's able to collect all of them from the first cart. He
just wants what was put in that cart. You know what he can get on. He's gonna be greedy and try and get all of them. The cart.
By the time he moves around to the second one, by the time he's able to collect them all, the carriage driver would be coming around and saying, "Hey, what are you doing back here? It's not your property."
I wanted Makana and Daphne to take him down.
Do you?
Yeah, I wanted them to take, like, as they were showing up, to take him down.
Okay. Yeah. They will follow Torque's command and try and grapple him. He's going to roll an opposed grapple check at each of them, and Holy fudge! Oh wait, no. His Makana has a higher strength than him. Makana rolls a 16. He rolls a 17. Daphne rolls a 9. He rolls an 11. But as a commoner, he's got +1 to strength, and Makana has +4. So yeah,
He's strong though. He's strong.
Yeah. He's like, wait, no, I gotta guard this. You don't. It's my job. Yeah. Otherwise, you guys are able to subdue him. By the time you're able to get him subdued, most of the crowd is dispersed, leaving the smaller stands to
Burn.
Yes.
The cart's caught up in that now, or what?
There are some people who were looting from the smaller stands as this happened, taking pieces of it with them. And this is very important. Is Torque watching these people leave?
Like watching what people leave?
The last of the crowd.
Yeah, the last of the crowd. Well, I guess when we have the guy subdued, he's just making sure nobody kind of runs up on them.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. So as the last parts of the crowds disperse, a person drops a makeshift torch they had, tosses it back towards the final cart, and it explodes as they do so.
And how far away is he?
This is probably maybe 30 or 40 feet from Torque. The explosion, though, is gonna catch the other cart on fire. At any moment, Torque can look at the black bags he's holding, but any logical person would know they probably only have seconds right now.
Torch kind of got an idea of what may be in the bags, and he's moving away from the fire.
Okay, with haste?
Yes.
Does he call after Daphne and Makana?
Drag that retard away from the cart.
All right. Makana's going to make a reflex save with disadvantage, and she rolls a 20 and 11. Torque and Daphne can both make a reflex save or a dexterity save with normal rolls.
All right. 8.
The final cart catches fire, and as you guys realize what's going on,
actually, what's the check for it? What's the check gonna be? Because my dexterity save will actually be a 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's not higher than a 14, just to dump to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, the second cart catches fire, and Torque is able to get far away enough that the flames don't hurt him, but he takes 8 points of bludgeoning damage from shrapnel.
Yeah, that's fine. He's a big boy.
Makana takes 12 fire damage and 7 bludgeoning damage.
She's a big girl. She's fine.
Daphne is a step behind Torque and takes half damage. She makes her save, leaping past him to the ground, but the flames do catch her. She takes 6 fire damage and 4 bludgeoning.
I don't know about her. She could be level 1 for all I know.
Yeah, so far she has displayed very little combat skills and high investigative skills and no ability to cast spells.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Torque gets far enough away that the other bags don't catch fire. As I'm assuming he kind of jumps out of the way and lands on a few of them.
He thought they might have had the explosives in them, so he was kind of guarding them from the fire.
Yeah, he'd hear a couple cracks as he lands.
Cracks? All right. But he grabbed all of them, so there's a chance that some of them are fine.
Yeah, otherwise you know what? I'll roll, how many did I say? I said there were a dozen?
Yeah, 12.
Okay, I'm going to roll you some D4 for how many aren't broke. Torque is able to save 5 of them.
Cool.
Otherwise, yeah, the carts are on fire.
All right. And I met that explosion and let that dude go scot-free.
Oh, hey, he was a commoner, and Makana couldn't get him to safety. He dead.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about the dude who threw the torch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And all 3 carts exploded, right?
No, the last one did not.
The last one didn't.
It caught fire from the bits of the other one flying on it, but you removed all the explosives.
Oh, we were the last one. I thought we were like in the middle or something. Okay.
Yeah, you guys were headed towards it, and it was exploding from like in a trail towards you.
Do we have any idea of what the other cart drivers were doing?
Well, there was you couldn't see the last cart driver. The cart driver in the middle cut his horses free, and I guess probably fled with the rest of the crowd.
Yeah.
You guys subdued the first one.
Yeah. All right. Before it burns all the way up, I want to check and just double check and make sure what the rest was that was in that cart was like food supplies or like gold and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you'd probably be able to find some. You'd probably be able to find some gold coins that aren't completely melted, as I guess gold does have like the lowest melting point,
Yeah.
and that isn't, you know.
He's just
splattered
double
about.
checking to make sure that this was the. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
the stuff
yeah.
for the group, and
Torque
somebody showed up and fucked the plan all up, thinking he
Yeah.
was doing a good thing.
Tort can definitely know. Oh yeah, this was the supplies. It got hit hard.
Some idiot out there fucked everything. All right. I guess we're gonna go back and mull over anything that we can try and figure out from these explosives, like if who could make them
Okay.
around here.
Roll me an investigation check for Torque, just finally checking over the cart.
The cart? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Damn, he dumb, but he rolled good.
Yeah, Torque is able to find a journal that's mostly singed. However, it's not completely readable.
All right.
Perhaps one of your casters can repair it.
All right.
Otherwise, yeah, that is the whole time skip, I believe.
All right.
Let's see. We got...
Orc still
Act
has intentions of working with the Chantry of Unity, you know, on this investigation because it's not over yet.
Okay.
So in the future, he may call on some help from him.
Yeah, we got Acthal goes to look for his eye, but that takes more than 2 days. So we'll pick up with that in the session. Arabella on her final day. Do you want to explain what happens to Arabella, Sam?
No, you can do it.
Arabella, oh, you sound so sad.
I just don't feel good.
Oh, okay. We'll probably be going to 10:30 tonight. Arabella is visited by the Risen on as her last event of the time skip. They show up true to their word, a Drea of Purity, and administers the test for Arabella to join their ranks. The Risen again is about what would be the closest thing a Lil Nagai has to nobility. And it is a faction of people who train from a young age to become the next Sky Queen of Lil Nagai. And being arisen requires a lot of grace, a lot of knowledge of their culture, and a very a dedication to serving. Arabella also finds out the morning she wakes up, she's been poisoned. And she is suffering from the poison condition for the whole time during the tests. So everything she does is with disadvantage. But Nonetheless, throughout the test, Arabella is able to perfect being charismatic and charming. Even though she shows up to the test late, she does fail the written part of the exam, requiring information or requiring the knowledge about Ilderon's culture. But nonetheless, Adria is sufficiently impressed with how much Arabella knows about Ilderon culture. After the test is over, Adria stays around to chat with Arabella, specifically asking her for her opinions on the Heart of Embers cult. To which I think Arabella says she doesn't agree with them, but understands why they're doing what they're doing.
No, that's not what she said.
Okay, hold on. I didn't have that part pulled up. So what did she say?
She says, the loss of innocent life is never something to praise. Acting in such a manner is not beneficial to their cause or to society as a whole. It is my belief that you gain respect and followers through contributions to the world, not violence. Violence should be used as a last resort, both on a personal and a spiritual level.
All right. So yeah, Adria would kind of nod along as you say that, and she would then say, far too many of our churches, far too many of my church's actions are too quick to violence. I agree. There should be other ways to convince people to believe in your cause. And with that, she would probably just nod to Arabella and say, I hope your faith is able to weed out these so-called zealots.
Is Arabella supposed to respond to that? I'm sorry.
She can if she wants. It looks like Adria is preparing to leave.
I think Arabella at this point is feeling really nauseous and not feeling very well, so she's gonna try to politely and gracefully get her out of the door.
All right. So that weird moment when your real life person is mirroring your in-game character.
For real, right?
Yeah. So is Arabella going to prepare the spells we talked about to cure herself?
Yes, and knowing that she's poisoned, I think it will make her look back on the way Lord Zacian was acting and how he's talking about how everything that happened when he was, and she's going to kind of start wondering about maybe he was poisoned.
Yeah, it wouldn't. From what Zacian told Arabella, that he was vomiting and other things while trying to fight the wolf, wouldn't be far-fetched to assume he was poisoned. Otherwise, I believe that's everybody's actions from the time skip. Oh, Zai went to join the Nazaram cause.
Oh, Brian, I totally forgot. Torque is now wearing those red boots he got off that burnt corpse.
Okay.
he kept.
Let me pull them up real quick. I think you have fire resistance.
Oh, nice.
I forget what else they do.
I didn't know they were actually a thing. I thought they were just shiny red boots to symbol, like a symbol for the group that was burning themselves.
Well, I mean, if you set yourself on fire, you want some general way to not die.
Well, they did die.
Well, see, here's the thing about resistance in this edition. It's not immunity, it's only half damage. And if you set yourself on fire, you're not that smart. So you'd be like, yeah, this barely hurts. Oh yeah, I can't breathe, there's no air. Oh man, that sucks. Oh man, I'm dying. Oh no, let me take off the boots. Oh no, I'm dying more. I imagine that's kind of how it went. Yeah, I gotta look up what boots they are because I based them off the boots of Winterlands, but those
Alright.
are actually that's actually resistance to cold damage. I know there's another item that gives you resistance to fire damage and a few other things.
All right, well, you can do it whenever you got time.
Okay. Yeah, but congratulations, you got fancy shoes. If you click them 3 times, you go home.
Shit, yeah.
Yay! I was gonna say,
Alright.
wasn't there a last part to mine too? Like,
Yes. We are transitioning to that. So Wesley, you want to describe your character a little to me, leaving the things we discussed between us?
Yes. To an average person, he's going to appear as a humanoid figure standing at about 5 feet 10 inches. His body is draped from head to his feet in some long robes. They have a sort of a dark steel, like a burnished steel look with accents of a lighter blue along the edges. And he wears a steel mask that covers his face, and I actually have a picture for it on his character sheet. But he carries a staff made from dark wood and iron bands that kind of grip a smoothly polished ruby at the top. The rest of his form, though, is covered. The rest of his belongings are covered by the robes he wears, and he kind of has a delicate sense to him as he moves around, like he's kind of he's not entirely well, but so he sits a lot, or if he doesn't have to move around, he doesn't.
All right,
So
and
he's sitting.
we're going to. You can send me an in-depth version of your backstory on the drive or on Facebook whenever you like. But if you recall, I did say we're going to start tying each person's character to somebody else. So is there anybody first of all, where do you think your character would have been born at?
Oh, let me see if I can actually pull up a map so I can give you a more.
Who am I tied to?
We didn't do that originally, but I'm going to start doing that for everybody who joins. If you want to tie yourself to somebody, you can ask them and include it in your backstory.
I'm going to try to pull up the map so I can get you a specific.
Torque is tied to pork.
If you're in Roll20, Wesley, I just moved everybody to the map page.
Pork is a little halfling that rides on Torque's back everywhere he goes.
oh,
He's got a bow, short bow. It's like a sentry turret on top of Torque.
Arabella connected to Zion.
No,
He left
weird.
all along.
what did you get for choosing a horrible brother?
I want to make that character now, Brandon. Which is technically 2 characters.
I would say that he was born around Frostfall, long time ago.
Okay.
I might go. Yeah, he was from a colder climate originally.
Okay. So that would make him a Galcanite, which would make a lot of sense for how I'm thinking about introducing him to the party, because you did tell me he likes digging up lore.
Yeah, he loves history.
And there is a lot of history on Galcan. Specifically, there is an entire empire called the Kayak Empire that was kind of like the Aztec Empire, except it was destroyed when the Terrai were introduced to Galcan. They kind of broke them in half, and then the individual parts of it just fell apart. Would he have any business down in the Clutch, which would be places like Dagger Gully and Low Throne right north of the Darkened Vale? That would
He-
probably be one of the easiest places, like Beechwood Retreat, to get a boat ride over to Cedal.
Well, sort of since he became an adult, he'll travel to sort of wherever he needs to if he gets a lead on something that's actually legitimate. So he might have visited that port a number of times, going from crossing the inner sea.
Okay. Eveline is from Dagger Gully, right?
She's from.
I'm pretty sure that's where we placed her.
Yeah, I know where it is on the map. It is.
That place right there is. Do you see where I'm pinging? Yeah, that's
That
Dagger
place.
Gully.
Yes, I am from there.
There is a very high chance then that you guys ran into each other.
Yay!
Yeah, I will let you guys work out however you wanted or want to be or have known each other. But as Kef is leading you to his accomplice, I imagine. I'm sorry, Wesley. What's your character's name?
His name is Tobias Greymist.
Okay. Yeah. As Kef is leading you to Tobias, I imagine Tobias would probably be at one of the public libraries that the Chantries maintain.
What time of day is it?
It'd probably be late afternoon at this point.
Well, he might have retired for the evening and gone to one of the nearby taverns where he can purchase food and some fine drink.
Okay. Yeah. Kef would lead you to the tavern, and there, sitting at a table, you would see the character Wesley described. 5'10", humanoid, wearing a mask.
He always wears a mask out in public. So you would basically see like a large guy in what you assume to be a male in robes and with a steel mask on. He'll have that staff that I mentioned, and he'll probably be flipping through an old book that he has on his person.
Okay. And coming up to you, bringing in a little board, almost a sparkly person. You see Kef, which is a person you've worked with back on Galkin. You know specifically that he's shattered, and that he helped dig up some runes with you, and there was another scholar that was also with him studying archaeology.
Okay.
He brings over to the table a person he describes. He says, "Hey, she's got a bit of money and she's looking for information on. Wait, what is your name?" And he turns to look at Eve.
Eve will say Eveline.
Yeah, he begins describing what Eveline's looking for. Eveline becomes acutely aware that she's met this person at the table before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you see,
Likewise.
Go ahead.
I was about to say he's kind of easy to pick out of a crowd, but
I was gonna say you're probably
But,
a lot more with you cloaked up and everything. You're probably a lot more likely to recognize her first.
yeah, possibly. Well, he this is a getup he's had for a while, but yeah.
Can I roll a have they slept together check? All right.
Sure.
No, I'm kidding.
That is unlikely. He doesn't necessarily partake. But
Necessarily.
Have they sacrificed old people to the undead together?
no, he has a very specific
That's how
view
Eveline
on that
likes
kind
to
of
get
thing.
down.
That and going into terribly dangerous places alone.
And going
Well, see, now that's something that they share together, but no, he wouldn't vote for Ted Cruz. No.
Don't judge my death panel. It's for the greater good.
No, he's going to rise and sort of like straighten out his robes a bit, and he's going to extend a hand. And his hand is cloaked in silk as well, from the same color. He's like, I've seen you before.
Eve is, as soon as he says that, it's gonna click in Eve's head, and she's gonna go to shake his head and say, "Yeah, long time no see. What you been up to?"
Nothing good, I assure you.
She'll joke around and say, "That makes two of us."
So, my friend instructs me that you wish to be bored with a history lesson.
She'll gesture to the seats so that they can both sit down and say, "If you wouldn't mind, I was curious about full of undead that they talk about and how they survive without the human souls to feed off of."
Kef would say to you, you're not the first person to ask me that either in the past couple of days.
She'll look over to him and say, "Who else has been asking?" With a raised eyebrow.
He'll gesture with his hands around his hair and start explaining. From his explanation, you can pretty much gander it's Arabella. And he'll say, "Oh, how the little born that one was." And he'll turn to Tobias as he's speaking and says, and she was looking for a way to keep an undead alive, and she hired Fiamore to do it. Fiamore, that uncultured little swine run of a woman, she hired Fiamore over me. Tobias would know Fiamore is also another person he studied archaeology with over in
Unfortunately.
Eve will kind of laugh.
Studied is a word. The terror seems to be something of a hot topic in this particular part of the world, so it's not surprising. So you're asking specifically methods to oh god, what's the word? To sustain a terror without consuming souls.
And even better, if you have any knowledge upon ways to heal them other than killing them.
Well, healing is a mystery. My suggestion to you would be to send her to the Darkened Vale. Would be the most the methods that would provide the best solution.
Eve will nod and say, "I would still like to know how they made it work over there."
Very simple. They cast a massive ritual that siphons the life from the land around them.
But wouldn't the land eventually die? What happens then?
Oh, well, as I understand it. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, at any point you can roll a history check if you'd like.
Oh, I was gonna. All right, I can do that. I have advantage on these, I think. Thank God. Yeah.
Tobias has probably spent some time in the Darkened Vale.
He's passed through a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah. He would know that. They don't. That the planet is kind of not necessarily alive, but as much as they're using as quick as it can regenerate itself. If perhaps the whole continent was undead, yes, perhaps everything would wither and die. But the Darkened Vale specifically, the population isn't massive. However, on the flip side, he does know that, and this is going off the 26, by the way. He does know that someplace like Betrayer's Isle, where there
Right.
is such a large number of people smashed into such a small space, that Betrayer's Isle is almost is almost forever dead. Like many scholars believe that in Heimsdale, if they're able to push into the Darkened Vale and destroy the kingdom, that they could replenish the land. However, even if they have liberate all of Betrayer's Isle, it will probably permanently be scarred.
Okay.
Would he
I'll,
say something like that to Eve?
No, I was just saying what he knows.
Yeah.
He would give a explanation as to. He would give the explanation in the context of why it would be the best option because of given the current situation and just how the process works and how it obviously prevents them from having to consume the souls of living people and how for the time being it's stable, but it could become unstable.
Eve will nod and say, but if the answer for it is to send every even semi-decent undead we run into over there, they'd soon become overpopulated, with groups going around tricking people and forcing people into it.
Well, the obvious solution to that is to not confine them all into one area. But
But
there's
then
something
you
of a...
go into...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, there's something of a stigma surrounding the Terrai at this point in time.
Eve will nod and say, true, but if, say you get another land going, and it keeps spreading and spreading, nobody's going to want to give them more land.
No, they won't. But as need arises, they may not have an option. They won't have the option to remain diplomatic on the matter. But that's politics. This woman in particular won't make one, or this person in particular won't make a difference one way or another. We're talking millions before that becomes a concern.
Eve will nod and say, true. I guess I was just thinking ahead a little. And she'll kind of let out a giggle.
This individual you speak of, she a family member of yours, perhaps?
Eve will nod. I never exactly said it was an individual. There's actually a few that I have in mind.
As Eve is speaking, Kef slams the table with his fist again and says, Fie more! Over me! I'm magnificent!
Sir. Calm.
Eve will laugh and pat him on the back and say, it's okay, I would have chosen you.
He nods and says, hey, me and Tobias will come work at the house. Or Tobias and I.
I mean, if you need a history tutor.
Says, wait, I will.
Wow. I mean, if you require a history tutor, then... But to be fair, I have done some work with the Terrai in the past. Might have some insights that could help.
Eve will laugh at the other guy first and say, I already gave you all the money I have. How am I supposed to hire you for anything else? And then she'll look back at him and say, no, you have actually been plenty helpful. I guess I'm just searching for a way to not only help the one close to me, but help all that I may encounter.
A noble gesture, but we have not yet progressed, to my knowledge, far enough to cure this condition. So for the time being, it will either be, well, what the given course seems to be is mass extermination. I'm hoping we can find a more amiable solution in the coming decades.
Evil.
Hey, go ahead and roll me a wisdom save for Tobias.
Wisdom save, you say?
Wisdom save. DC
Okay.
17.
Yes. Yeah, I do have proficiency in those, so.
You feel incredibly weak for a moment. Almost as if the force sustaining you is being eaten away.
So,
Huh?
when you say weaker, you mean lower than 5 strength?
Yeah, for a second, your strength becomes 1.
Good thing he's sitting.
And it happens only for a moment. And your small connection to your spell book, you can feel something has shifted inside of it.
Shifted as in how?
This would be a feeling that Tobias is definitely aware of. Hold on, I need to read what we talked about real quick.
Oh, is someone taking some spells from him?
No, quite the inverse.
Oh, okay, I got you.
This would be the feeling of he could probably decipher more of his spell book.
Okay. Well, he's going to sort of slump over in his chair a bit and just start coughing and kind of take hold of his staff to steady himself.
Evil worriedly lay a hand on his back, like gently. Are you okay?
Yes, I I apologize. I am somewhat afflicted, and I have moments of weakness from time to time. It's nothing.
She'll add, well, since you have helped me so much, maybe I can help you. Where are you staying tonight?
Here, specifically. I never stay in one place too long.
Evil say nonsense. I'm only staff, but I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't mind. You can come to the manor with me and sleep in one of our beds for free.
That's very generous of you. I wouldn't want to impose.
You wouldn't. I'm sure the lady I serve would be just as interested to talk to you as I would as well.
Well, then by all means, if you insist.
Evil nod and smile real big. And I guess lead him to the manor?
Okay. As you guys leave, Kev specifically states he's not coming out of a pure disgust for Fiamore.
Evil kind of just shrug and say, "Thank you for helping me. So I will. I hope to cross paths with you again one day."
Alrighty. He has gold now to stay at an inn, as he did not when Arabella came by.
Is that why he was being so nice to her?
Yes. One of the NPCs you interacted with had was a sucker for get rich quick schemes, and the other one was not very satisfied with his life.
Aren't we all?
I'm pretty satisfied right now.
Give it time. Give it time.
I'm not old and cynical enough yet.
All right, yeah. You guys are able to head towards the manor, where I guess the rest of the party would all be reconvening, except for Akbal.
And Zai.
Yeah, and Zai.
What?
So Arabella and Torque.
Yeah, Arabella, Torque, and Eveline and Tobias all
Where
meet
are
up
you?
at the manor. There is
Hell no. Torque ain't there. What are you talking about?
Torque not come home after his investigation.
That's not Torque's home. That's not-
Well, there's no place for you to stay in the Chantry permanently, especially now that you just filled most of it with secret, or rather with prisoners.
No, I didn't. I gave those to the Chantry of Unity.
I thought you gave the smart ones to them.
No, I gave them the ones that didn't help.
Oh, you gave them all of them? Alrighty. So Torque's just going to live at the Chantry of Unity?
No, at the Order of the Flame, Chantry of Discipline.
Or, yeah, Chantry of Discipline. Alright. Yeah, he stays there. Yeah, so Arabella, Eveline, and Tobias meet up at the manor.
Goodness.
Eve is gonna kind of knock on the door first, and so that she doesn't surprise Arabella with their guests.
The big cloaked kiss.
Has Arabella healed herself yet, Brandon?
Yeah, she remember how what we talked about, it only takes you 10 minutes to prepare spells?
It only takes me 8 minutes.
8 if you do it specifically for that, speed run. But I mean it's a process that only takes between 8 and I think the maximum is 14 minutes if you prepared all second levels. But yeah, in any case, you'd be able to, prepare the spell and then cast it and neutralize the poison.
Okay, Arabella is no longer poisoned.
Oh, it didn't kill you.
Are you trying to kill her? Are you trying to poison me?
Don't sound so disappointed.
Torque is
Torque, second.
some pussy that uses poison.
Like I should have used the good stuff.
It's Zai. It's all Zai.
From half a continent away.
Amphitheater would lead you back into the house and ask who your guest is.
Eve would introduce him to Amphitheater and ask him to go get Arabella for her, please.
All right, he does so, telling Arabella that Eve and a guest has arrived.
Arabella would follow him down to wherever he leads her.
All right, in front of you is the character Wesley described. Would you like me to re-describe him, or?
No, I was paying attention.
Okay.
I took notes.
Somebody has to.
I take notes on NPCs, and I keep what you guys send me in Facebook messages and Google Docs.
No,
Hey,
I mean,
Brandon.
just pay attention.
Yes.
I actually have to step away for just a second. I got a phone call coming in.
Okay.
Be right back.
All right, we're going to jump over to Zai. Does Zai seek to join the Nazaram cause? Is Ben even there?
No, he's not in the call anymore.
Ben dead. What'd he do?
Well, he said his internet was being bad. He might have
Yeah,
dropped.
he did. Hey, Brandon, did you see my Facebook message?
Also, why am I the only one drawing on the map? I'm highly disappointed.
I
Oh,
would
sorry.
have-
I've been playing with my thing, and it's been keeping my hands busy.
Yes. As she did notice Arabella was poisoned, she'd be willing to come back another day.
Okay, then that would be good. Because I think
And
I
she's
have.
friendly with Arabella. I said she's friendly with Arabella. Arabella did much better than she was expecting.
How bad did I do on that thing?
You got 2 out of 3 of the tests right. But the reason it was perfection or nothing.
Which ones did I miss?
Oh, you're talking about the questions?
Yeah.
You got 12 out of 8 of them right. Or 12 out of 20 of them right.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good. It was more than half.
Aren't you glad that I pay that much attention?
Yeah, specifically you missed the ones you left blank.
specifically, I could find nothing about that anywhere.
Uh,
Do you know do you know how long I researched and how many times I went back and rewatched sessions and how much?
oh wow, that's so much more devotion than I thought would go into it. Maybe I'll put those questions on the group chat for everybody.
Maybe you should now fill out those parts of the wiki.
Yeah, as Arabella has put a lot of time into them. You know what? I'll do that tonight after the session.
Okay.
I was aiming for a 10:30 wrap up tonight, but Shaq's part's going to depend on Ben. Torque pretty much got to the end of his storyline. Well, not the end of it, but the end of what I had planned for him tonight. There was one moment where you could have gotten more information, but you did get the journal. You did save one of the carts, so that was really good.
That's cool. Torque's got boots.
Yeah. Otherwise, are you guys comfortable with ending here? And we'll just pick up with Axel next session?
Sure.
Okay, and I'm going to yell at Ben.
I asked him if he was dead. He told me yes, so don't worry about it. He's dead.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to brainstorm some ways to bind the party together. Because as of right now, no one really seems to like each other. Perhaps you guys just need a good old-fashioned adventure to go on to.
I'm loving these drawings that I think are from Shaq.
I wouldn't do something so immature.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I hope y'all enjoy the adventures on the lands of Leroy.
I had hoped that more people would have been interested in going after the cult.
That wasn't even. Was that even an option for me, Brandon?
Yeah, everybody had the option to look into the heart of it.
It was just more specific for one of Torque's options.
Yeah, it was. I felt Torque was gonna do it.
You put so many things in there that I wanted to do. I spent 4 days trying to figure out what.
Hey, you took away my chance to kill your stupid ass cousin.
Hey! If Eve starts feeding her animals or people, Arabella herself will seek Torque out to kill her. I'm just putting that out there.
The party is at a very, very comfortable amount of tension. Now it's riding the tension to a point where it's an interesting story and people aren't just hating each other endlessly.
Well, here's the thing, Brandon. Arabella thinks that Eve poisoned her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very, very, very probable. I don't know if I want to spoil it for you guys, but it's not a bad assumption. But I mean, as a player, you know everything Eveline did tonight, so
yeah, I know.
Anyways, I'm gonna give everybody. Oh man, I guess she couldn't hear us. I'm gonna give everybody 500 experience for each event they completed. So everybody gets. I'm gonna technically count Torque as completing, not Torque. I'm gonna technically count Acthow as completing 3, even though we couldn't get to his final one today. Okay. And I'm going to count Torque 2 as completing 3, as he would have did what had to be done if he had been asked to.
Yeah, that was my whole last day signed up for, yeah.
So 1,500 for each character?
I think we're level 5.
No, because level 5 is at 6,500.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have it written down in my comments, like my features thing. Next level, 6,500 EXP.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes, I owe you an item.
Hey, Brandon, do I get extra XP for having my stuff done on time before the session started?
Yes, I'll give you 500 additional XP for finishing before the session.
Yay.
Hey, I was almost done.
And 250 for Torque. because you were literally waiting on me. Or wait, no, you weren't. I'm still giving you the 250 because you got half of it done, but I think the other half came in like right before the session started.
I never saw where you had edited. I saw where my stuff was now red, but I didn't see the extra stuff at the bottom. I was just like, what?
Hey, that
Oh,
puts me at level 5, Brandon.
Congrats. Yeah, so is there anything specifically you guys want to do? Because you're kind of at a free moment between quests right now. You can choose to pursue the cult. You can go to the capital. You can go on an adventure.
Are these
So how friendly is Makana now?
Makana has never not been friendly. She is very goal oriented.
as long as you're helping her with her goals?
Yeah, but how friendly is she to Torque and his Chantry now?
Oh, a lot more willing to work with the Chantry of Discipline.
Because for her help, I'm giving her the stuff that I had noted. Pretty much like a writ of like, I guess, honorary membership if she needs something.
Yeah. The Kalkin do have an office inside the capital.
I was about to. I'm sorry, Brandon. That's just
go ahead.
kind of goes on to what you're saying. The cults that they're working on, are they happening all over?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, this one isn't the one you guys have been dealing with specifically. This one seems to be a response to what you guys have been dealing with.
But like, I was just wondering if things like this are happening in the capital too.
Well, connections can be made on Torque's part that something's happening outside of the city since the supplies are coming from outside of the city. But
yeah,
there's nothing definite yet.
Yeah, as a player, yeah, there is. There are upshots of these things happening all around.
Okay, and on the map, where does everybody want to send Sona? Bill?
Well,
The grave.
not the pooping guy right there. Hold on, it's just gonna go like.
Right here, Brandon?
These are great, dude.
Pinging?
Oh my god, you dirty son of a bitch.
Yes, that's where everybody wants to send her. I'm gonna end the broadcast.